Hey everybody, happy Monday. This is Meredith Miller here with your Sana Q&As. Remember, the link is below the video in the description if you would like to leave a message on that page where you can leave the questions for me to answer. So this one says, I was in a domestically abusive relationship with a narcissist slash antisocial, which is another word for sociopath or psychopath, which I ended 7 years ago. He has stalked me and my workplace throughout this period on and off. I work in the library and I am concerned that he will re-emerge at my workplace. If I have to serve him, what do I say? I am concerned that if I go gray rock, ignore him, or excuse myself and go to the bathroom or the staff room, it will cause another narcissistic injury and it will give him another excuse to further stalk me. Last year, I ignored him at work and it resulted in him stalking my workplace for the next 6 months. I took a year and a half off after he started stalking me again at my workplace, and I am back at work and feeling anxious. I love my job and it provides financial security. I feel like he uses any excuse to gain narcissistic supply and vindicate his revenge, and it's a no-win situation. I don't wish to turn to the police as it means I have to deal with him and I just want him out of my life. How do you deal in this situation? Thank you for your support and happy supermoon on the 14th of November. So, first of all, that really sucks. I mean, 7 years on and this guy is still harassing you at work. I am so sorry that he has not left you alone and that you feel like you're not at peace at work and you're afraid that he's gonna walk in at any time. I totally get what you're saying about not wanting to go to the police, do the whole restraining order thing. I mean, that can be so re-traumatizing for a lot of people. Like, if you have to go to court, they force you to go to court with the perpetrator, right? Like with the abuser, because they know nothing about Stockholm Syndrome. Like, if the court actually understood what abuse really is and how it actually affects victims and what the Stockholm Syndrome is, they would never put you in the same room with the perpetrator. So the system is really messed up in that way. And I totally understand, your desire for not wanting to go that direction. It can also leave you feeling very disempowered. And sometimes the best thing to do, like you said, is like, you just want to feel like you're empowered in the situation. You want to take action. You don't want to have to go, outside and then get involved with him and all this again, right? So I totally get that. And to empower yourself, right, the first thing you want to focus on is your self-care. Like, always be taking care of yourself. Always be taking care of yourself first from now on. That's really important to feel empowered, to feel like you're not putting your energy outside yourself. So, the ultimate revenge dealing with a narcissist is essentially, they say moving on. It's, in other words, you becoming indifferent to this person. Like, no more hatred, no more, massive anger, when they come near you, or even when you have thoughts of them. No more feeling thoughts of love and empathy and deep compassion for this person, but more the sense of like, just indifference. Like, you see them and maybe even you think, wow, I'm so grateful I'm not still with him, or I'm not still with her, right? And it's almost like inside you have this sense of gratitude. You don't even need to get really emotionally disturbed about it. So if you want to put on this, dynamic of feeling indifferent, you actually have to work on feeling that, because if you feel anger or some sort of reaction, he's going to feel that too. Like, they are very good at their emotional radar, at sensing where you're at emotionally and how to fuck with you in that way. So you don't want to reveal that. And, anger is palpable. Some people are really good at managing, their facial expressions and even their body language to some extent about the anger, but you can feel it when a person is radiating anger. You can feel it when you're near them. So you want to practice this. I would do this in front of the mirror. I would do it sitting down in a meditation, standing up, however it is that you're going to be at work. If you imagine yourself, and I would run through the scenario and visualize it over and over again. Imagine he comes in, imagine he's going to check out a book. Like, I'm assuming that's what you're doing, like checking out books. So let's imagine that's what you're doing at the library. And he comes up and he wants to check out a book or two. you know, and he comes over acting all smug or whatever he's doing, I would literally just treat him like any other customer. Like, pretend you don't know him, check him out, stamp the book, thank you, you know, follow protocol, no small talk, no personal talk, you know, it's just sort of like as if somebody else were witnessing this, like your coworkers are witnessing this, and it's like they have no idea that you have any history with this guy. They have no idea that you even know this guy at all, because the way you're going through the motions, it's just like anybody else. No big deal. No big deal at all. And that sort of indifference is gonna leave him feeling like he's not getting anything juicy from you. He wants something juicy, like whether you get upset and angry or whether you're really happy and enamored to like see him. Either way, he's getting off on that. That's what gives him the narcissistic supply. And the more they realize they don't get shit from you, they don't get that, they don't get the anger, they don't get the upset, they don't get the happy, they don't get the excitement, they don't get any of that. It's just total indifference. That to them is just devastating. It's like the worst thing in the world, and they just have to go somewhere else to get that. Like, he will immediately run out of there and go text his next supply or go visit, you know, somebody that he can usually get supply from, or call somebody up. Like, he's just gonna have to go to someone else. And what you're gonna teach him is that he's not gonna get that from you. It's just met with nothing. Total indifference. So again, you have to practice that. You have to practice calming down your emotion. So what you want to notice too is how the emotion starts in your body. So while you're running through this visualization at home, notice, is it anger? Like, it's probably anger. If it were me, it would be anger. And I would notice that like coming up from my gut, and it would just be coming up like the center of my body, and it would start to feel hot and like all this like energy. And then my ears feel like they're kind of going deaf, because now the anger is like all in here. As soon as that starts coming up, I would start breathing and breathing and breathing, and just feel how the anger then just calms down. It just calms down. And then it's like, imagine that you're looking at him like he's just the most boring, mundane thing, no big deal. And then imagine yourself stamping the book, passing it on, or whatever you're doing. Maybe you got nowadays, I haven't been to a library in ages, you can probably tell, maybe nowadays it's like some kind of scanner thing on the computer, right? So, you know, just imagine yourself and actually like do the motions, like whatever that kinesthetic motion is for you, the scanner thing or the stamp or whatever, and practice doing this so that it's like you're encoding in your body and your connective tissues and that like matrix that connects your body where your emotions are stored as well. You're training yourself to go through this process, and you're charging that experience with a lack of energy versus charging the experience with anger, or charging the experience with excitement or some other, you know, palpable emotional reaction. And so, yeah, just treat him like you don't know him and practice it over and over and over, because the more you practice that, the more you believe it, the more your mind starts to actually believe this is what's happening. And then when you see him, your training will take over. You know, you might feel a little nervous, your palms might sweat, you know, you might break out into a sweat, but that's okay. Just keep breathing and just keep trusting, you know, in your kinesthetic memory that you've rehearsed this, you know what to do, you know how to get through this, and he's going to leave and everything is going to be okay. And don't give in to him, you know, let him make a fool out of himself if he wants to. I would just pretend like, you know, like, have you ever seen a dog that doesn't know what's going on? It's like, you know, I would just kind of be like that, just looking, that's interesting, with that sort of attitude. What is that? That's interesting. Instead of getting caught up in it, depersonalizing it, separating yourself from it. And the supermoon, that's funny you mentioned that. The supermoon is 2 days. Supermoon in Taurus. It's a full moon. It's in Taurus. It's the biggest one like this since like 1948 or something. This is really rare. And in Taurus, my moon is in Taurus. I'm a Pisces sun sign, but my moon is in Taurus. So my, you know, the moon is your emotional life. And so my moon in Taurus is like, for my emotions to feel good, like, I need to know that I have values and that I'm in alignment with my values and that my actions are representing my values. I like to feel like comfort and steady and safe in my environment. Because when I feel safe and comfortable and like things are steady in my home environment, then my emotions feel steady, my emotions feel safe. So right now, probably what's coming up for a lot of us is like re-examining our values, because Taurus is about value. Like, what's really valuable to you? So looking at this situation that you're talking about, like, what's most valuable to you? Is it your peace of mind? Then that's what you want to protect at all costs. What's valuable to you? Your job. It sounds like you really love your job. You love working there. You like the financial security it gives you. That's really valuable. So you don't want to allow anything to get in the way of that, right? That's something you want to protect. So, really take inventory on what's valuable. And it's interesting because this moon, of course, is opposing the sun right now during the full moon. And so the sun is in Scorpio, and the sun is in like the end stages of Scorpio. And it's like, it's going over this part of Scorpio where Saturn, maybe Jupiter or Pluto, Jupiter, I think, can't remember, definitely Saturn, has been through lately over the last like 4 years. And so it's almost like right now, like the same fears are coming up inside of us that were coming up for the last 4 years. So it's probably no coincidence that you're having this fear right now about him coming into work and bothering you there, because you mentioned this is like a 7-year situation. You guys have been separated for 7 years. So 4 years ago, think where you've been during the last 4 years. Think what the biggest fears you've had during the last 4 years. And then take the opportunity right now during this full moon to examine what is most valuable to you, what really matters to you, what's really important to you, what is meaningful to you, and let go of all the other stuff that's not. All the other stuff that's really not that valuable, that's really not that meaningful. Maybe somebody taught you that it was, you should value it, or it should be meaningful to you, or you should this and that. And you're like, no, that's not important to me. This is what's important to me. This is what I want to protect. This is what I want to allow space for in my life, which means this stuff has to go. And right now, what's going are the fears. So I encourage all of you right now that are listening to examine the fears that are coming up right now, that are reminding you of the fears that have been coming up for the last 4 years, and really evaluate there. What is meaningful? What do you value? What do you want to protect? What do you need to do to feel safe around those things? And, are you worrying about something that's meaningless? That's another good question to ask right now. Looking at the Taurus moon and what you value and what's meaningful. Are you still replaying the same old fears in your head that are just meaningless, that you don't even care about anymore? Like, how many times do we do that, right? We keep replaying these old fears of things that happened, but it was the past. We don't have to relive those things anymore. We don't even care sometimes about the things that we're worried about so much. It's just kind of become this conditioning pattern to think and worry about this stuff. So is it time to let some of that go? And what are you investing your energy in? What are you investing your energy in? Because that's what matters to you. That's what you value, right? That's what's valuable to you, is what you're investing your energy in. So if you're looking at your investments of energy and saying, one, I'm not getting a good return on my energy, I'm giving, and like nothing is coming back with this person or this situation, or are you like investing in all these like fearful, doubtful kinds of thoughts and feelings, and these, negative thought loops that are just keeping you stuck and paralyzed or caught in the analysis paralysis of things? Like, is it time to dump that? Is it time to move on from there? What do you actually want to invest your energy in? Where is a better investment of your energy? That's why you want to know what you value, what's meaningful to you, what's worth your time. Is it worth your time to keep thinking about those things? Or is it worth your time to focus on new things, on other things, so that you don't have to think about that old shit? And then if that old shit shows up, it just happens to show up one day, it's just like, meh. Right? Because you have all this other amazing stuff to think about, and your energy's invested in all this other amazingness, and it's just sort of like, it's no big deal. It's no big deal at all, and really ask yourself, like, what do you want to manifest in your life right now? Because Taurus is about manifesting as well. It's like powerful manifesting energy, and it's important to have emotion behind that, because the emotion is the power behind your manifestation. So wherever your emotion is, that's what you're increasing the manifestation of in your life. So how do you actually want to feel? What do you actually want to manifest in your life? I would take an inventory on those questions. Utilize this time right now to get a new perspective on that, to dump those old fears, to invest yourself and your energy, your time, your awareness in what's really meaningful to you. I'm sending you a big hug.